It's a very, very good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to a very special broadcast of an interesting conversation that we'll be having today. My name is Kago, and every single Monday through Friday between 3 and 6 p.m., I am a drive time host on Gabs FM on a show called The Late Lunch Show. But today we're not talking about radio, we're talking all things the People's Republic of China, what you may know from what you may not know. Now, I think for a lot of people, when we talk about China, there's a lot of things that come to mind. For some people, it's the Great Wall. For other people, they think about things like, everybody knows Kung Fu. There's a lot of different misconceptions about all things China. So we're here today to have a very, very light conversation with some people that have been to China and some people that will be traveling to China to try and talk all things China and try and demystify a couple of things. I'm going to start with introducing my guests this afternoon. So maybe we can start with the lady to my right. Maybe introduce yourself. Tell me about who you are. And let's start with the introductions. Please tell me who you are.
Okay, hello everybody. My name is Cheshe Dao. And I did go to China, like you said. I went in August, 3 wonderful weeks in China. Okay, so we'll talk more about that as we get started. What do? I do a great many things. Most recently, I was in the field of education. I run a school. I love education. I love children. I love art. I love all things creative. So that's why China for me was quite amazing. I could go on. Oh, and now I'm farming. That's how I spend my morning. All right, goodbye.
I like that very, very much. The gentleman to my right, Yokoparu, introduce and tell me a bit about yourself.
Hello. Dumelang. Kibidua Tota Motoloki. I'm a visual artist. I've been in China 2 times in 2023 for around 2 weeks, and again in this year, August, for almost a month. That was a great trip for me.
Thank you very, very much, Mr. Totang. The lady to the right-hand side, please introduce yourself and tell us what it is that you do.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sharon Kumamotse, and I have a Chinese name which is Kong Feng Mei.
Kong Feng Mei?
Yes.
Okay. What does that mean?
Kong is just a Chinese surname, which is the same surname that the great philosopher Confucius has.
Oh, wow.
And then Feng Mei means like beautiful, abundant and beautiful.
That's very nice.
That's the name that I was given at the Confucius Institute.
Okay.
And I'm a student there. I've been learning Chinese there for 1 year, 8 months. And I'm very passionate about Chinese language, Chinese culture, everything about China. And I've participated in various activities, both within Confucius Institute, outside Confucius Institute, such as the Spring Festival. I was part of a poetry recital there. And some of the performances I've done are Chinese songs, Chinese poems, Chinese tongue twisters. And I also participated in the Chinese bridge competition this year in April and got 3rd prize. And also the Chinese multimedia competition. And recently had the opportunity to visit China for 2 weeks as part of the summer camp organized by Confucius Institute. Thank you.
Very, very nice, Ms. Kung. And finally, if you could kindly introduce yourself and tell us a bit about yourself.
Okay, my name is Misa Motsakwe. I work with the Chinese embassy. So my main work is the political sector, but I've also worked with commercial and administrative. Okay. Yes.
Fantastic stuff. Now, guys, the reason why I've gathered you all here today is to really try and debunk a couple of myths that you might have heard about China before having gone there. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I was growing up and I heard about the country or the People's Republic of China, the first thing that came to mind is that it's called the Land of the Dragon. So I'd imagine that there's a lot of mythical creatures that are running around. Everybody wakes up. What else is the whole thing? A Chinese wake up. So I'd imagine that's how people wake up when they get up in the mornings. Everywhere you go, it's a long walk everywhere. So maybe let's just start with just a couple of misconceptions or a couple of ideas that you guys had when you were growing up that you heard about China. When I say the word China, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Maybe let me start with the gentleman. How about the China? So Santana that comes to your mind. What's the first thing that comes to mind?
Santana go bua ka China. Se ke godileng ke utlwa ka sone ke gore ko China batho ba bantsi. They are everywhere and ba khothagane like. But when I get there, I realized the land of China is so huge, so huge. Gona le space le siame, gona le masimo, gona le some farms. There is a lot of space in China.
Okay.
China is big.
Yeah.
Almost maybe it's bigger than any other country.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of space.
Okay, what about you, Miss Kung? First thing that when you heard about China before you decided to pick it up as a passion, what's the first thing that you came to your mind, and how did you actually get into being into China so much? What's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear of China?
Intelligent people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I grew up knowing that Chinese people are very smart, especially when it comes to mathematics and the sciences. And here and there, I had a few Chinese classmates in school growing up, and they were usually top achievers.
Oh yeah.
And another thing I used to hear is that they're extremely strict.
The parents or the children as well?
Everyone,
Okay.
because they are trained in like a strict environment.
Okay.
And
Okay, no, fair enough. And what about you, Cheshe? When you think of China, I know that you're a person. You've been over here, you've been over there. When you were growing up and you heard of China, what's the first thing that came to your mind?
To be honest, it was those old kung fu movies, the Bruce Lees of the world.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I had no other image of China at all. Like all I saw was that, and that was it. There was nothing. There were no magazines. There was no TV shows from China. It was just. It was a black box for me.
I like that.
Yeah.
And
Even about food.
Yeah, but the food that I had for Chinese food, I went to university in the US, so I had Chinese food in America.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's Italian food in America, there's whatever. But if you go to Italy, is it really
It's
like
not the
that?
same thing, yeah,
So
yeah.
I was like, is it really Chinese food? So I didn't know.
And what about you, Misa? I heard you mention the fact. So you're one of the people that actually hasn't been to China as yet, but you're about to travel. What comes to mind when you think about where it is that you're going to be traveling to? What's the first thing that comes to mind?
The first thing that comes to mind right now, what I'm excited for, is to learn about the technological advancements that have been made, because I believe China is far ahead of us. So I'm really excited to see what's going on in terms of technology, the transport, the infrastructure. So, and like Chesa said, growing up, you get the first picture we got of China, mainly in Botswana, was the movies, the fighting. The first names we got to know about China were the Jackie Chans, the Bruce Lees.
And now you're exposing your age.
Yes.
Okay. No, fair enough. Now, I want to focus on the guys that actually have been to China and actually try and correct a couple of wrongs, because I think because China's so far away for a lot of people, I can't imagine, that's my home village. I can't imagine a kid in Tonata when they think about how far China is, just to imagine what the reality might be like. So there's a lot of conversation that's being had the world over about wanting to travel to China. And I think the reason why we're having this conversation today is trying to encourage more people to that if you do get a chance to go to China, take it with both hands and really try and go there. So there's a couple of myths that I've heard, and I want to find out from you guys if there's anything, if there's any truth to this, or if it's just a complete myth, and maybe you can debunk it for us. Yes. All right. So the first one, when we were growing up, there was a song in Lahore that was very, very popular. His name was Sinyaka. I don't know if you guys remember that song.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
There was also equally, so there was another song called Fong Kong. I don't know if you guys remember this song. So there's a misconception, or there's a belief that everything that you get in China is a knockoff. I don't know if there's any truth to this, that, if you're walking down the street and there's 10 different kinds of Nike shoes, maybe there's something that you guys can shed some light on, having been there. What was the reality in terms of, is everything that comes from China, is it a knockoff?
Are you asking me? Okay, so that's a very layered question, right? Because China makes everything.
Yeah, they do.
At least
They
having
do.
gone there, they make absolutely everything. And everything as in all the different types of products, and therefore then all the different categories of products.
I see.
So the idea that, you can't say, that's such a blanket limiting statement to make. That's like saying, all people in Africa are starving, or they're poor,
Okay, so
or they're whatever.
So how would you say it different?
I would say that in China, there is the breadth of goods, as in categories of goods, and then there's every different quality you'd want in every direction. Because I think, at least being in China, I realized that the idea of price, of value, they serve whatever market. If there's a market, they serve the market. So if you want a $5 shoe, you can have a $5 shoe. If you want a $100 shoe, you can have a $100 shoe.
I see.
Yeah.
And what about for you, sir? China,
Ko China ne ke ile ko Hangzhou.
Hangzhou.
Yeah. Ko Hangzhou is ba re ke gone ko this technology,
Mm.
the birth of technology. Technology it's a lot thing ka technology ya ko China, and ga ke tsamaya mo strateng kana mo dimolong I saw quality clothing, everything was quality. I ke itse gore gongwe ne go ira ke gore ne ke le mo toropong e le gore e go godimo but everything was quality, and ne ke ile ka tsa botaki like go torowa le gone go torowa is high quality, and they have got all the material that you can need.
Okay.
So obviously if you have got if you are exposed to those materials, you make high quality works.
Okay, I like that very much. Miss Con, you've been to China a couple of times, and I'd imagine that you've been to a couple of places. You've already been once. Okay, so your experience from the time that you went, talk to me about when it comes to buying stuff. How was that experience for you?
As they have stated, it's a myth that everything is a knockoff in China. There was so much high quality goods that we saw there, and so many brands are manufactured over there. So I was in Shanghai for about 9 days and Beijing for 2.5 days roughly.
Nice.
And the shops that we went to were top notch.
Okay.
And they were not knockoffs at all. Yeah, they were very good quality. And besides that, we also visited a lot of markets whereby they sell souvenirs, which are usually handmade and they're made from authentic materials. So they're very good quality as well.
How are your negotiation skills? I've heard somebody say that you need to negotiate everything. Is this true? You can't negotiate?
My negotiation skills were quite good because there's a dress I bought over there, which was originally 100 yuan.
Okay.
In fact, 300.
Okay.
And I negotiated it down to 100.
Okay, that's not bad.
So negotiation is acceptable.
Okay, fantastic stuff.
Especially in the tourist tourist targeted shops and markets.
Fantastic stuff. Misa, you're about to travel to China, so I'd like to imagine the quality of stuff is really nice there. Are you going with just your passport and an empty bag?
The plan is to go with half a bag,
Yeah.
and stellar negotiation techniques.
I like that.
Yes.
I like that very, very much.
Yes.
Now, another thing, I think being in a country whereby we form the majority of the population, we're not used to being a minority in a country. So talk to me about, there's a lot of people that, do live in different parts of China that have never seen a person that looks like you and I. They're not used to seeing black people. Is it true, they want to touch your hair, they stare at you? Is there any truth to this kind of, do people mind their own business?
Yeah, there is a bit of truth about that. Kore hela ya ka mo Botswana bogologolo no go se motho gore bona le khoa kana a white person. So no go bogolo jang bana. Bana ba rata thata gore ba mo atumele ba mmone ba ipotsa gore ka nto motho kwa mohuta mang ga sa tshwana le rona yana.
Yeah.
Le gone go China especially mo di area rentse le gore they are more traditional kana di khakalanyana le ditamelo. They get admired to see a black person. So you will see they even ask for photos with you.
Not celebrity
not celebrate.
And it's important not celebrity, but it's to show that it's not an unsafe kind of it's a curious oh, you're so different from me. So that's really cool. It was nice. Now
okay, I think with the exception of our guest over here, how good is you guys Mandarin? I think I know basic Mandarin, shishie, ni hao, but my language understanding, I don't know about you. Can you guys can you speak? Do you need to understand Mandarin when you walk around the streets? Can you translate on your phone in terms of that experience with just getting around with the basics? Do you have signboards in English? And tell us, do you need to understand very basic Mandarin? You don't really need those skills.
You don't need them. I mean, I should advocate that you should learn as best you can, but you don't need them. And everybody really wants to try and communicate. So if you want to buy this bottle, they will find a way. They have their phone open, they speak into it, you speak into it. Then even if you're negotiating, you go back and forth to buy it. So there's that. And numbers tend to be written in numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4. So even if there's the yuan sign next to it, you can see the number, so you can see what you want to buy. So yes, you can completely even buy yourself, and people are very helpful. They're not there's like very little crime in the public spaces.
Nice.
So you feel safe to wander around to ask a stranger, okay, can you help me find this? So
I like that very, very much. So because I think Misa said something about how technology plays a really big part in China. That's something that you're looking forward to. And I've also heard that, there's a rumor or there's a belief or a misconception that you can't really use cash in China. I don't know if there's any truth to this. You need to have something on your phone. There's an app called Alipay. Technology so that you can survive. Is this true? Can you still carry some RMB in your pocket? Like it's already
yeah. So okay, you can use cash. And in fact, on the first day, I think when we had the first orientation, at least set up, they're like, it is the law. People must take cash. It's not something that they even negotiate. Yes, people who are there use their phones to just tap and pay, but they don't make you feel like somehow you're taking them back to the dark ages. They have a thing to count the machine, the paper there, and it's done. So no worry about that.
And was the experience the same for you guys both?
Same.
Yeah.
Maybe because of that high technology, mostly they use those Alipay. They use phones in some of the shops. Technology is so high. So mostly you use your phone to pay. Some of the shops you help yourself.
I see.
So that means now we get how to reach cash, because there is no one who is going to give you a change.
Yeah.
They use that technology.
So I've done a little bit of research, and Misa, I don't know if actually let me throw this to you, because you're a person. I've done a little bit of research, and the currency, the exchange rate between us and the People's Republic of China, it's about 2 to 1, whereby I think 100 of their currency gives you about 200 pula this side. I think that's what the mathematics works out to. So are you a person when you think of cash, because you're going to be that side, you're going to be using their currency. Are you going to be transacting, thinking about the money in pulas? Are you going to be just, I'm here to learn, I'm here to experience? In terms of what you're about to go and experience?
I think it's going to be very difficult, because God forbid, even when I go to South Africa, I think in pula and not in rands, because sometimes when you have a foreign currency, you tend to misuse it because it's not what you're used to as value. You don't put value in what you're not used to. So you have to be very careful with spending. But also to throw a question out there, because our panel here is filled with people who've currently been to China.
Sure.
I've also heard people now use, instead of tapping their phones, they can use fingerprints. Have you seen that?
Fingerprint to pay?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Actually, no, I think I did see, but I was on a university campus only. So it made sense to me why in a university, because they know everybody who's there, so how that would work. But in the public, I didn't see anyone in a shop. I didn't see that.
Okay.
So I saw something like face recognition.
Oh, yeah.
On these big fridges. Yeah.
Okay. No, okay, fantastic stuff. Now, look, communication is something that's really important to me, and I've got a family back here in Botswana, and I'd like to imagine I've heard a story about how you can't use Facebook in China, you can't use YouTube, you can't use Google. Is there any truth to this? Is it just one of those stories? Again, it's something that's you hear in the public, but it's not really true. Is there any truth to the fact that you can't use a lot of these Western websites in China?
It's difficult to get Facebook, but because we are people who still end up using it.
Sure.
Yeah, even WhatsApp. I used my WhatsApp, I used my Facebook.
Okay.
While I was
So
there.
I go China the chief. I'm not gonna get dumped.
Yeah, because maybe because we had some Chinese friends who knows technology. They had to press our phones until we get what we want.
I appreciate that.
o itse go tobetsa.
Right. All right, fantastic stuff. Now,
No, but it's important. The Facebook one. So I was cut off for 3 weeks, but I there was something wrong with my phone, I think, because everybody else. There was 27 of us, 26 people. Everybody had Facebook. Everybody had WhatsApp with their pictures. I did not have. So it was very painful in the beginning. I don't want to lie, but it was a very nice 3-week holiday from everybody. So it was okay.
Okay, fantastic.
But it's important to research before you leave,
okay.
so that whatever you need to download, you need to download it while you are here.
Okay.
Yes. And I didn't do that. That was my mistake.
Okay.
And like he said, it's advisable to download a VPN before you go there. That's the one that allows you to access these Western sites.
Okay.
And I had one, but somewhere in the middle of my stay, somehow it stopped working. So I had no access to the socials for about a day. And then luckily, some of my friends were able to send me a different one via Share It. And that's when I was able to access WhatsApp again.
Fantastic stuff, right? Guys, we've almost come to the end of our conversation this afternoon, but before I let you guys all go, Misa and myself are going to be traveling to, I think we're going to Beijing in a couple of days. So maybe, I think, some advice for somebody who's never been to China. Maybe you can actually give us a couple of pointers in terms of trying to encourage people. I think, the world is really talking about wanting to travel to China and why this is something that's important. So maybe in as many words as you'd like to take, let's start with you, Cheshe. For somebody who's, the Motswana who's at home, who's thinking, China is so far out of reach that I can't possibly go, but it really is just a couple of flights to connect. What would you say to somebody who's toying with the idea of maybe one day going to China for holiday, maybe going to go and do some business, or maybe just going for, for recreational purposes? What would you tell that person who's toying with the idea but isn't so sure? How would you convince them to go?
I would say go. That's what I would say. No, seriously, the flight is not even that bad because you fly from Gaborone, at least where we went, Gaborone, Addis, and then to Beijing. So it's like 3-hour connection in Addis, it's nothing. And then you're there. And then, yes, the signage will be in Chinese, but like I said, people want to communicate. So before I left, I would not have gone to China by myself.
Nice.
But now I'd even go with my 6-year-old. Like, it's just that the safety as well for me as well. Like, I'm a woman. I'm not a very big person, so physical safety, that's very important to me, and even just like my things, So the feeling, the sense that you can leave forget it in a phone, forget it in a shop, and you'll come back for it. That's just, for me, that's worth its weight in gold, especially as a female and with a small child and a girl child. So for me, that's huge. And then also, I would say, if you're gonna go to China, just take your passport. You will buy the suitcase, you will buy everything in China and come back. But I would also say, it's sad I can't speak Chinese, so it's hard, so you don't get to experience Chinese people in their own language. But I would say, if you're going to go to China, take the time to do the cultural heritage stuff. There's so much amazing history in China, and it's accessible, and so much art that's there that's worth having a look. Because I know people tend to go on holiday and think, I'm going to shop, I'm going to go to the beach, like the things you can do anywhere. There's so many things you can only do in China. So if you're going to go to China, just take the time to get to know the people and the place and their history. So for me, I don't know. I'm a huge fan. Like I was saying, there's my life before China and there's my life after China. I know I sound like a groupie, but it was that amazing. So yes, please do go.
Fantastic stuff. From an artist's perspective, anything that you tell somebody what is maybe in the similar space, who's toying with the idea of going to China,
Ko China go safe ka ha ke go boneng ka teng o ka emela hela, make sure, like we have said, download whatever apps you will need when you get there. Don't worry about the language. Yes, most of them won't speak English, but if you have the app on your phone, you can always communicate. And their technology is high. They will always have those also. So the communication is not a problem.
Fantastic stuff. From yourself, how would you encourage somebody? How would you implore make that holiday, make the time, and go and see mainland China?
Yeah, I would certainly advise anybody, especially a Chinese language student, to visit China because the exposure there is really worth it. It gives you a chance to practice speaking the language on a day-to-day basis. In as much as Chinese people are very friendly, very welcoming, and you can use Google Translate and other apps to communicate with them, and here and there you meet those who are fluent in English. It's always a joy when they hear you speak to them in Chinese, and
Nice.
They're very encouraging. They always tell you that your Chinese is good, no matter how little you speak. So it will help you enhance your Chinese speaking skills and cultural immersion there. It helps you really feel the culture, experience the food, and so much more that's there to do. And we even got the opportunity to participate in some cultural activities such as calligraphy.
Okay.
And this is one of the fans that we did. So this calligraphy here is written Ping An.
Ping
Ping An.
Ping An.
Yeah, which means peace.
Oh, very nice.
And then this side over here is written Zhimei.
Jimmy.
Zhimei,
Jimmy.
which means most beautiful.
Hey.
So
I want to need that one. I'm gonna need that one. Jimmy. Hey,
this
okay.
here is a fan.
Very nice.
And another activity we participated in was bamboo weaving. And this is a fan that I had the chance to weave out of bamboo strips
Very nice.
here.
I forgot to ask you guys, did anybody by any chance see the panda bears?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's definitely
Yeah.
on my bucket list of things to see. And then the last ornament, Emma.
And then this here is a traditional Chinese decorative print that we had the chance to decorate when we visited the University of International Business and Economics in Beijing.
Nice.
So it was really nice to get to experience the culture. We even participated in martial arts.
Oh, very nice.
Yes.
Okay. No,
And there's so much to learn, so much experience
nice.
that you can gain from visiting there and
Fantastic.
hopefully staying there.
Hopefully
you
staying
want-
there.
if you
when I
wanna-
can see what your plans are for the short term. China's where you're going to move to. Misa, finally back to you. So tell me about your expectations. Are you excited? What are you looking forward to doing? I know that there's a really big itinerary. Tell me about some of the things that you're going to be doing when you do spend some time in China.
A lot. Eat the food.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to immerse myself in the cultural aspect, the food aspect of it. I'm hoping to see what, like I said before, what's going on technologically, infrastructure, to see what is happening over there in terms of buildings that most African countries don't have.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see the people practice the little bit of Mandarin that I have. I don't know what you're going to do because you have none. So I can't wait to practice the law that I have. And really, it's different when you learn about China in theory.
Yeah.
Yes, now you get to experience the practical side of it.
Fantastic stuff. Well, guys, I guess that wraps up our conversation this afternoon. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you very much for spending the afternoon with me. And I look forward to I think this is a before we go, and then we'll have a conversation after because, hey, so I'm really, really excited. I've never been to Asia, so I'm really excited for the opportunity. But thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon.
Thank you.
Right, folks, so I guess there you have it, man. Next time, I think the next time that you do hear from us, we're going to be having the same conversation and after we visit China and actually trying to really tell you about everything that we've experienced, from the culture to the food to the people. I'm looking very much forward to going there. And of course, if you are also playing with the idea of going to China anytime, as you can hear from our guests in the studio, or not in the studio, but as you can hear from our guests, it is something that is worth your while. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon, and we'll see you soon. Right, Gabs FM, power to engage your world. Welcome back to our conversation today. As of course, as part of an ongoing mission, the People's Republic of China is on a bit of an expansive exercise to try and get as many people to learn more about the culture as well as the people of China. Joining me in the studio today to have a bit of a continued conversation from where we picked up from the other day. I'm joined by a man who wears many, many different hats. Some people know him as a social influencer, but some people know him as a husband, he very, very recently got married. Congratulations, first of all, on your nuptials, man. It looked very, very nice, man.
Thanks, Con.
Fantastic
so
stuff.
Much. Yeah.
Now, we were having this conversation, Heinya Namaloba, just to try and sensitize the public in terms of when we talk about China, there's a lot of misconceptions that people have. But China, somewhere, knock off, but tell me about some of the things that you maybe have heard about China growing up that you want to try and find if they're true or if they're not. What have you heard about China? China wa kanya.
Ka the Botswana heta China ke raka bo ditlhabolo sengwe le sengwana ke gona conversation ga ndere tsere lo ntare wana o itse bo kung fu nna ne ke itsela and then go na le pineng ngwana bogologolo ana be radio west ne ke fila gore ma China gona go ke dio tse di fake yela o vethi realize gore di bone bo di lebulang ka di bua ka maine tse dingwe botsotle ka bontsi di tswa bo China in eno pineng ngwa bogologolo ne radio west ne ke tsela ke reditse ke fila gore ha ke tla ke ya China kana ke rate China kana ba itse ke direkile dira sa
Hong Kong
ko ma China
ya go pola
ya ke experience ke itse ka China e o tlela be ke video go tere go bua ka re go bona re sentle what's happening.
Fantastic stuff. Now you're one of the select lucky few people that has been chosen to actually go as part of a larger group or like China who experience of the culture. So what are you looking forward to? I know that you're going to be in Beijing. You're going for a total of about 18 days, I think you said.
Yes.
What are you looking forward to doing when you get to China? Has never been. Maybe one day I will go. Tell me about what you're expecting or your expectations to China.
Tota o itse ke batla ha ka re tsamayana normally ha re le mona le tlhere ro da re dio ka bontsi ko China re reng so ke a go batla gore ha re tsena ka di warehouse tsele because ba re ra go fiwana go engwe ya ntse ya gore re kgona gore re bone China re dikologe re reng bona batho ba tleng re ro da re mo go bone bale kana ba itleng ba re itse gore motho ke bona ba dirang le mise phone yena gore ke kganyana le re ne go shitele bona gore ka ha le kgone gore le go bula warehouse ko Botswana lo isimolola go ira di phone se ko ja re ska ra order mo especially mo itse re kgona gore create employment itse gore ba dira kwa because ha ke ba emela ka batho ba batlang go di dira kwa gore ba dirine be re tla rena di warehouse kwa go tswa maungo kwa no go from China.
Minister Malobela na bua something of the sort. I think re Penyo Butale ha le ko China they were trying to convince as many companies to come and set up shop mo Botswana. So I like the fact that you also how it's a influence for the sake of influencing what's a to lady pone. So kudos, man. I think that's pretty much what I wanted to find out from you, just in terms of your misconceptions. Lynn, I think when I was growing up, one of the things then what I knew the most about China is that every single person in China, you know what I mean? Everybody is slim, everybody's in shape. So these are some of the misconceptions that I think as we do travel to go to mainland China, I'm looking forward to going to try and debunk some of these things and find out more about the people, submerge myself in the culture.
No, ne re mo sidimeng la 2 weeks back na re ne le bone ba a China embassy. So ha re ba khona re tsa conversation re le ba ntsi yana kana gone kwa ha re etsa ke a go batla gore ba khona gore ba khona gore ba import diwa tsa rona kana bo phani bo morogo a Setswana because no ma di ba le kona ba direka ne ke mo re tshuriting yona ke itlhala phani ba ije ke re mme ha re ka bona gore rona bo Botswana re nne le bo phani ntse re khona le na re nne le export e tswang ka kona gongwe ga gona re tsholetse economy le gore gona ana ke re high nka gore ke high friendly mara go tla ya teng.
Okay, I like that. Yes. Final question, just in closing. So China since we in Mandarin.
So far, I guess I don't know.
Hey, folks. Well, there you have it, man. The man's name is Heinyana, folks. Thank you so much for spending a couple of minutes to talk to me.
So my pleasure.
All the best with your safe travel. I think it's Beijing.
Yes,
and then I think we'll have this conversation when we do come back. And then just what was your before expectations, and then how it's China. What is the reality on the ground?
Yeah.
All right. Fantastic, folks. That's wraps up our conversation this morning. But once again, folks, remember that we will be broadcasting from time to time. I think if you do follow our social media pages from different handles, I know that Heinyana's number but we're going to head back to the conversation with the rest of the group. We'll be right back.